everybody. Good afternoon, good morning, and good evening, depending on where you're watching from. Happy New Year. This is going to be our first live video under the program that we bring to you from time to time. Ask me anything about Canada. Um, we're going to wait a little bit so that a lot of other people can join in. We've got a lot of response, a very good response from a lot of people from all over the world. So we don't want anybody to miss anything. So this is a very interesting topic to a lot of us. So share this link with your friends. Invite someone that you think they need to listen in on this program, because two reasons why we're doing this is because we try to let you know what life is like with those of us in the diaspora, those of us that live in Canada. We try to on this program bring real life situations about what life is here in Canada, and then we try to highlight on the things that are interesting to us, both as Canadian citizens and as people living outside Canada who have an interest in Canada. So today we're looking at immigration. Immigration is a very important issue to us here as Nigerian Canadians, as African Canadians, and because of the unfortunate situation that we find in a lot of our African countries. So a lot of us are interested in immigrating to Canada, and Canada being a country that has good economy, good everything. Life is good here. It's a secure country, and so a lot of people are the economy is strong, so a lot of people are interested in immigrating to Canada. Like I say, it's not everybody that will immigrate to Canada. It doesn't mean that you only make it in Canada. You can make it wherever you are. All you need is for God to bless you and for you to be diligent in what you're doing. But if Canada is somewhere you would want to explore, then we just want to make sure that you do it the right way. What do we mean the right way? We want to make sure that you do it in a way that does not jeopardize your safety, that does not put you in harm's way, that does not get you frustrated and get you deported. Because once people do things the wrong way, they end up with a very sad story. This is what we don't want to happen. That's why we're trying to make sure that you do things the right way. Okay, so what we are doing in this program is, especially with you guys know, in the news lately has been stories about Africans and a lot of Nigerians who find their way to places like Libya and other countries in a bid to get away from Nigeria and immigrate to Europe, to North America, and they fall into very dangerous situations. A lot of them were killed, a lot of them were sold into slavery, and all those ugly situations. And there are situations also where people get duped for falling into the wrong hands. So what we're trying to do through this program is to be able to let you know the true situation of immigration in Canada, the truth about immigration. And to help us discuss this, we are focusing on the Honorable Minister of Immigration for Canada, in the person of Honorable AHMED HUSSEN. So today I'm going to be talking a lot about the Honorable Minister. I'm going to try to tell you who he is, and I'm going to paint a picture of how humble and ordinary he is. He's someone who is approachable. He's someone who is within reach. He's someone who does not forget his constituency. He's someone who is present every time he comes around. He makes every effort. He goes from a lot of politicians, when they get elected, they forget about their constituency. This is somebody who goes back to his constituency, knocks on doors, sits down at the basketball court to play basketball with people. I mean, he comes to a party, you want to put him on a seat where he will just stay and just be honored and revered and respected. He doesn't want to do that. He gets up and is walking around the whole place, shaking hands with people, taking pictures, smiling. He's so close to his constituency, and that is what we want to focus on today. These are the things that make us as a group, Worship Media, to really be interested in him. I'd like you all at the end of this program, and somewhere along the line, I'm gonna post a link to our YouTube channel so that we're gonna be following up on this story. You're gonna get more stories about immigration. Go there and subscribe. It's Worship Media. I'm gonna post a link so that we can continue with this discussion, because about an hour or so we're gonna be talking here will not be enough for us to exhaust anything. Right now, we have a lot of people signing already. I'm gonna wait actually 3 more minutes, and I'm gonna start the program proper. I'd like to thank all of you for signing in. I see you all. Go Adaka, Uchenna, Elsie, Idris, all of you signing in. I want to thank you for signing in. Star Ibe, Emeka, Silencer, Adeze, Tulani, Anuoluwa, Ifeanyi, Gladys. I see all of you. Thank you all for signing in. We're going to start shortly. The Honorable Minister would have, honestly, believe it or not, he would have loved to be part of this program, but he's right about now in a council meeting. I was informed he's in a council meeting with the Prime Minister, with our dear Prime Minister, a very hard-working Prime Minister that we have in the person of Prime Minister Trudeau. He's doing marvelously well. They make an awesome team. We're so lucky to have him as our Prime Minister and to have the Honorable Minister as our Minister for Immigration. And so that is how good we have it here in Canada. We couldn't have asked for anything less. Okay, now let me go straight. So what has happened is that people in his office have sent a couple of things. I wanted to get the facts. I don't want to get it just from anywhere, so I asked them to send me something about the minister, and they have sent me some information that we can use to talk about the minister. Okay, as you all know, the minister is of African descent. He's from Somalia, but let me go straight and read directly so that you guys, but you can always Google about the minister and see information out there about him. I'm going to briefly read something about the minister, and then we will take it from there. Okay, so the minister Hussein arrived in Canada in 1993 at the age of 16. Without his parents, he had two older brothers already in the country who helped with housing and the basics, buying winter clothing, registering for high school, accessing community service. His father died in 2000 and his mother lives in Nairobi. So that's basic information about the minister. Hussein is quick to credit others who helped him too, like his track coach, teachers and fellow students when he started high school in Hamilton. They were very, very generous to me in my early years in Canada, and I have never forgotten that. He says, I have always tried over the years to replicate that by helping those who came after me. After high school, Hussein moved in with one of his brothers in Regent Park. That's where George Smitherman, a former Ontario MPP who represented the riding that included the neighborhood, got to know Hussein. A major redevelopment was in the works, so a group of residents started meeting along with Smitherman to ensure they had a voice in the process. By 2002, Hussein had co-founded the Regent Park Community Council. He came in 1993, and by 2002, he had co-founded the Regent Park Community Council. He took a stand that said, even though we welcome redevelopment, we also wanted to make sure that in that process the people of Regent Park were revitalized. Regent Park is an area that it was forgotten. It was absolutely forgotten, but he and his team revitalized that place, that community. That's what Hussein said. Smitherman came to think of Hussein as a gentle giant, tall but slight. He possessed a presence and maturity that didn't match his years. People simply listened when he spoke. He could gently peddle a strong argument, said Smitherman. He seemed to me to have a well-developed, maybe instinctive sense of how to carry himself. That is true about this minister. The way he carries himself is something that every African is very proud of. I'm a Nigerian and I'm very proud of that African brother. That's why we're doing this. Now, Hussein moved out of Regent Park around 2005, but he still visits that mini city when he can and is always amazed by the changes. I had a lawyer friend, for example, a number of months ago who told me, hey, I'm moving into Regent Park. He says, that's what Hussein says. That's something you would never have heard of many years ago. Some years ago, you would never. I was at one event where he was speaking, and he let us know that for so many years, Regent Park didn't even have a mail box where you could go and throw email. You had to go out of Regent Park to be able to post your letter. That's how bad it was, and you couldn't even believe this was happening in modern day Canada. Now, let's say among Chan, blah blah blah. Hussein left McGuinty's office to attend law school at the University of Ottawa, so he trained as a lawyer here. After completing history degree at York University, he saw a law degree as the way to further push the issues he cared for, so he went to study law. He practiced for about 5 years, focusing on criminal defense, mainly for young people, and immigration and refugee cases. Around the same time, Hussein became a prominent voice for the Somali diaspora. Now, I told you he's an African, he's of Somali descent, so he's from Somali. So around the same time, Hussein became a prominent voice of the Somali diaspora as national president of the Canadian Somali Congress. He was the national president of the Canadian Somali Congress in 2011. I'd like to point out here that I also serve my community in the capacity as the president of the Nigerian Canadian Association in the Greater Toronto area and its environs. So you can understand why I'm particularly interested in the life history and the activities of our brother AHMED HUSSEN, because we have a lot of things in common. Now, let me continue with this reading. Hussein traced the statistics of vastly lower median incomes, higher unemployment, and school dropout rates that revealed a young immigrant community still finding its feet. After fleeing a civil war that gripped Somalia in the late 1990s, the Canadian Somali community is now undergoing the growing pains of integration into the larger Canadian mainstream society, Hussein said. He also spoke as a Canadian Muslim who is proud of his faith and heritage, about how Canadian and American values of democracy, liberty, rule of law, and human rights fit with his faith, and how Muslims can in fact best practice in countries that enshrine those. The civil rights of our community members must obviously be protected, but it is equally important to disseminate these integration-friendly messages in order to contribute to a process where our community emphasizes the defense and attachment to the countries of Canada and the United States, he said. A few years later, when Hussein garnered 46% of the vote and defeated NDP incumbent Mike Sullivan to take York South-Western, a working-class immigrant heavy riding in Toronto's West End in 2015 federal election, he became the first Somali Canadian to get into elected office. He became the first Somali Canadian to get into elected office. But my history indicated my ability to work with everybody. But my history, sorry, he said, um, sure, I'm proud to be the first Somali Canadian to get into elected office, but my history has indicated my ability to work with everybody. And I intend to do that. That I can vouch for him. His ability to work with everybody, he cuts across every community. People love him, people respect him. He carries himself very well. He's readily and easily accepted by everybody. Hussein, as an MP, he introduced a private members bill in May 2006 that will allow federal government to require assessment of community benefits. Now, I'll talk more about his achievements later, but basically, I just wanted to give you a background of who Ahmed Hussein is. Let me round up by saying that Hussein is almost comically understated about his dramatic public introduction to the job, considering only that it was a very interesting weekend. I've always learned most when I'm placed quickly in a situation where I have to deal with something. He says it was very steep learning curve to get right into it, but I have a very good staff and supportive department officials. When asked about his seeming reluctance to respond to issues like the US travel ban from a personal perspective, Hussein returns to a familiar line in spelling out the various pieces of his identity and history. He says, I'm very happy and proud of my Somali heritage, but I also make it a point to emphasize that I'm a Canadian citizen, and I'm a Canadian, he says. This is where I have spent most of my life. This is home for me, and this is a society I have grown to cherish. For Hussein, it's all about being proud of his roots, but recognizing that he is a citizen of one country, now Canada. Now, this summarizes who Ahmed Hussein is. A very humble person, someone who recognizes the fact that his roots are tied in Somalia, but he is proud of his citizenship of Canada, because he says this is where he has spent most of his life. This is the place that has made him what he is right now. So he has great respect for the country of Canada and recognizes and appreciates the fact that he is a Canadian. Same thing with me. I share that fact, and that is why. And I know that there is so many. For me, there's so many privileges that you have in being a Canadian. The security, the sense of safety, the availability of jobs, the infrastructure, healthcare. There's so much that we enjoy. The stable economy. There's so much that we enjoy here as Canadians and as Nigerian Canadians and other nationalities living in the diaspora. And so we want people who have an intention of visiting Canada, of pursuing a future in Canada, of pursuing a career in Canada, to do it the proper way. And this man, Ahmed Hussein, has done so much since he became the member of parliament for Western Riding, and then eventually the minister for immigration. And I'm gonna tell you just a summary of some of the things that Hussein has done as Minister of Immigration. Now, from discussing what he has done, we're going to come back later to take your calls. The lines will be open in about 12 minutes, and you get a chance to call and ask your questions. But let me go ahead to tell you that Hussein has successfully pushed for name-blind recruitment in the federal civil service, and now there is a pilot for 6 of the biggest ministries. This is huge for the community. What this means is that he has pushed for, like when you apply for a job, you write your name, you write your surname. What that means is that you could easily be discriminated based on your name. But what Hussein has pushed for is a situation whereby you don't have to write your name when you're applying for a job in the federal ministry. Can you imagine that? You just put, they don't have to know whether you're a male, whether you're a female, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Christian, whether you're black, white, Hispanic, brown. They don't have to know that. All they need to see is your qualifications. Before they even get to know who you are, you would have gotten the job. That is what he has pushed for, and that is excellent for our country. Needless telling you that there's systemic, and I can say this what is true, but there's systemic racism where people are of a certain group are discriminated upon. Nobody can really control what happens in the ministry where human beings control certain things. But with this kind of law that he has brought in, is going to help people to get employed without being discriminated upon. Another thing he did is he pushed for, he was successful in getting funding for the famine that hit countries in many countries in Africa. I don't know how much it was, but there was a huge amount of money that Canada invested in helping countries in Africa, and it was because of Hussein and a couple of other people that worked on this issue that they were able to get funding to be able to send relief to many countries that needed funding in Africa. He introduced the concept of community benefits in the federal infrastructure spending that will provide more jobs to people in the community. So that's like when you are going to develop a community, when you're going to do something in a community, you need to employ, like, can you imagine the big multinational companies come, big construction companies come, they are building malls, they are building roads, they are building infrastructure in a community, and within that community you have youths that don't have jobs, you have people who have immigrants who are trying to find their feet. I think what they push for is that you have to get these people involved, you have to employ them, you have to give them jobs so that they have something to do even as you are working within their community. He also pushed for those who he pushed for, and he was successful with the other members of parliament to get additional funding for at-risk and high-risk kids in priority neighborhoods. It's unfortunate, but here in Canada there are neighborhoods that are occupied by high-risk people, and needless to say, these high-risk people, predominantly blacks, predominantly Africans. So he pushed for funding for kids in these areas to provide things that they need. He also pushed for those stuck in legacy backlog to be at the forefront, and the task force has been set up for that case. There's a backlog of immigration cases. There's a backlog. You see, years back, people have applied, and for 3, 4, 5 years, their issues are just stuck. Nothing happening about it. People that want to bring in their parents, people that are married and want to bring in their spouses, people that want to bring in their brothers and their sisters, their cases were stuck, but they pushed and they got a task force has been set up to clear that backlog. And if you check out these days, a lot of people have been coming in, a lot of cases are moving fast. People apply for things, and within 6 months they have their PR card. In the next couple of weeks, they're in Canada. What used to take like 3, 4 years. Now remember, we're going to open up the lines in 8 minutes. I'm just giving you a background about AHMED HUSSEN, the Honorable Minister of Immigration for Canada, and what he has done. And then we'll use that as a background to discuss other immigration issues. I know a lot of you are waiting, but in 8 minutes we'll open the line. There are so many things he has done and he will continue to do. He also spent the last 2 years helping a group set up at the Federation of Black Canadians who are working on helping African, Black, Caribbean Canadians in the area of mental health. You know, a lot of wherever you have, in a neighborhood where you have a lot of high poverty statistics, you also have cases of mental health, and because a lot of that is happening in our community, he worked with the federation, and they are able to look into arresting sorry, I'll read it the way it says. It says, who are working on helping African, Black, Caribbean, Canadians in the area of mental health education and corrections. There was an 80% increase from 2003 to 2013 of black inmates in prison. This is a very disturbing figure. And with this group, they are able to look into cases and get people that shouldn't be there out of prison, make sure that people don't go to prison for cases that they should not be in prison. Now, this group includes people of all religions, that includes black African Muslims who are often forgotten. He made sure that both the premier and the mayors were on board. He spoke to Amira from NCCM on the increased hate crime on black Muslims. People don't know this about him because he's always working. As you all know, AHMED HUSSEN is a Muslim, but he's the kind of Muslim that you wish every Muslim was, because he is proud of his faith, he professes his faith, he understands his faith, and he goes about it in a manner that makes it appealing. And that's the message he spreads to people of his faith, to know how to be able to assimilate into the culture and the traditions of the area where they are. Yes, you're Muslim, but you have to recognize the environment around you and make sure that practicing your religion does not bring about friction between you and other people, that you practice your religion in a way that people do not misunderstand you, or in a way that makes your religion not appealing to people. That's the kind of person he is. Now, there's been a lot of changes that their minister through their minister and our Prime Minister Trudeau and their party have brought to bear since they came into power and since he became the Minister of Immigration. Now, people and our demographic, there's something in front of me. It says that 5 million Canadians are to retire in 2035. Now, immigration supports GDP. The people who powered our economy, they're getting old, and so it is through immigration, like economic immigration, that they're able to replace that working force. People don't know this, but that's part of the reason why Canadian economy continues to be strong, because as the older ones retire, fresh blood, fresh skills are brought into the economy, and so the fastest way to replace this is through immigration. That's why it's important that what the minister is doing to allow more people to come into Canada, to allow cases that have been in the backlog of cases, to allow those cases to be treated and make it easy for people to come in. That's why it's very important. Now, since 75% of Canada's population growth comes from immigration, mostly the economic category. Immigrants are more likely to start a business than a Canadian-born person. This is true. Immigrants are more likely to open a shop, to start a business. I own a business. I know when I came in here and I came to my church and I was telling people I need to start a business, they were all looking at me like, why do you have to do that? Like, no, you see, you have to wait 5 years, 6 years. I said, no, I don't have that time. And within a year, I had my company registered and I had my construction company running. And I know a lot of people who have been here, born in this place, but they can't even boast of any business that they started on their own. So immigrants are more likely to start a business more than those living in Canada already. The Minister of Immigration recognizes this, and he's been working very hard to increase the amount of immigrants that come into Canada. It says immigrant entrepreneurs contribute to economic growth by creating jobs, attracting investment to Canada, and they drive innovation. They come in with ideas. They come in with fresh ideas. People here, where you have it all, people tend to be lazy. People don't even strive to read to get a doctorate degree, to spend years in research. It's the immigrants that come and they're willing to read, get more degrees, do research, and they work very hard and they bring fresh ideas. If you're here, I know when I came in here, people were still having these old telephones, and we had flip phones, and people were looking at us. And in the architecture profession that we belong to, We were telling them about 3D design, and people were still just doing AutoCAD only, but we were already designing in 3D after a couple of years before people caught up with that. So this is what immigrants do. Now it says 3 years plan. There's a 3-year plan that the immigration has set. In 2018, the immigration ministry hopes to have 310,000 permanent residents. In 2019, they plan to have this is very important that people listen to this. The plan is to accept 310,000 immigrants by 2018. By 2019, the plan is to have 330,000 immigrants in Canada, and by 2020, 340,000 permanent residents. Now, we're not talking about increase from 310, we're talking about 330,000 in 1 year. That's what they're hoping to bring in. That's a very high leap from what it used to be before. Now, before we open up the lines, I want to tell you the major moves that you can attribute to our Minister of Immigration. Now, there used to be a Bill C-24. Okay, in Bill C-24, previously, you had to be physically present in Canada for 4 out of 6 years before applying for citizenship. When our minister came in, they changed it, and you must be physically present in Canada 3 out of the last 5 years before applying for citizenship. Previously, if you were between 14 to 64 years, you had to meet the language and knowledge requirements for citizenship. Now, he returned the age for language and knowledge requirement of citizenship to 18 years to 54 years old. That's one of the big things they did. Now, previously, you had to file for Canadian income taxes if you require to do so under the income tax for 4 out of 6 years. Now, you have to file for Canadian income taxes if required to do so under the income tax for 3 out of 5 years, no more 4 out of 6 years. Finally, the time spent before becoming a permanent resident did not count towards physical presence requirement for citizenship. Now, days spent in Canada before becoming a permanent resident as a temporary resident or protected person within 5 years of applying for citizenship count as half days up to a maximum of 1 year. That means if you were already in Canada and you were seeking to be a landed immigrant or seeking for citizenship, previously they will not, even if it took you 3 years before you started applying, none of those years counted for your time spent in Canada. But now, when you spend time, all those times you spent before applying for citizenship or for permanent residence, they will take those days up to a maximum of 1 year. They can credit 1 year for you, so that reduces the time you have to, because sometimes people spend 3 years before their cases are heard, and then they have an opportunity to apply for permanent residence. It only starts counting from that day they apply, so the other 3 years that they spent is not counted for. So if somebody just came into Canada and they were to apply for permanent residence, they probably will get their permanent residence before this person who had spent 3 years previously before applying. But these are the promises that they made and promises that they kept. Now, the lines are open. You can call in, and we already have some missed calls. Sorry, you can call back now, and we will take these calls. On February 9th, we're going to be hosting a dinner for the minister. There's a dinner being hosted for him. I'm going to post information about this dinner, and people who are living in Canada, Toronto especially, are advised to buy the tickets and support the minister and the good work that he's doing, so he'll be inspired to do more. Okay. There's one other thing you need to know while we're waiting for the calls to come in. Through the Global Skills Strategy, Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada has introduced 2 new work permit exemptions. There are 2 new work permit exemptions that have been introduced by Citizenship and Immigration Canada. Foreign nationals coming to work in an occupation at NOC, Executive Managing Director, or NOC, a professional level will short-term assignment for 15 days. Okay, I have a caller coming in. I'm going to take the call now. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
Good evening, my brother. How are you?
I'm fine.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Theodore Ndubisi.
Theodore Ndubisi. How are you? Where are you calling from?
From Italy.
Okay, you're calling from Italy. Okay. What's the time there now?
Now it's around almost 6:30.
Okay.
Or 6:32.
Okay, no problem. It looks Italy is the same time with Nigeria. It looks like.
Yeah.
Okay, no problem. So, what's your question?
Yeah, my question is, I want to come to Canada. I have a citizen here as a. Now this thing enters to Canada, but my problem is to have if I enter Canada, can I get working permit, or is there any way of getting it?
I don't understand. If you enter Canada, can you get a working permit?
Yeah, or resident permit.
Of course, if you already have what I advise people to do is this, and this is the basic advice that I give everybody, even before whether you're calling in or whether you're just listening. You must go to the website of the government of Canada. Okay, the problem is that a lot of websites out there are cloned to look like the website of the government of Canada. Now I'm going to give people now the correct website, the correct web link to go to. So you have a pen and paper?
Yeah, I have a pen. Let me bring paper.
Yes, and I want everybody else who is listening to please copy this. This is the website. This is the right website to go to get information about everything regarding Canada and especially immigration. Okay, so are you ready?
Yeah.
It's www dot gc gc. Yes, G as in gold. www.gc.ca. Okay, I just posted it. I'm going to post it right now. So that is where to begin your quest for information concerning Canada. And when you get there, you're going to click on immigration. Okay, when you click on immigration, you will see a drop down list: my application, visit, immigrate, work. Okay, so then you can click on work, and you see where it says work in Canada, services and information. All right, now if you start looking through all that, if at any time you get confused, okay, and you don't understand what you're reading, right, you click on the contact. Okay, when you click on that contact, you see where they ask you contact Immigration, Refugees and Citizenship Canada. Okay, so you can go there and you'll be able to find links that you can use. The good thing about them is that when you ask them a question, they answer you promptly. You can even call them. Okay, so you can call them from wherever you are, and it says, when you click on that, it says client, they have a client support center. Okay, I will also put their telephone number here for people who are in Canada. But if you are outside Canada, I guess let me see what they say here. They say you have a touch automated telephone service, client support agent, your local time, except for. So it is, if you are outside Canada, you have to call them Monday to Friday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. depending on where you are calling from. So the time in your own area, you call it from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. I'm going to post that number now. People don't know that these numbers are there for you. You just call the number and you can ask any question at all. I mean, any question at all, you can ask them. Okay, you don't have to. Sometimes people don't want to ask a question because they're thinking, oh, if I tell them my name, then it will jeopardize. You don't have to tell them your name. Okay, you don't have to tell them your name at all. You just have to ask them the question, and they will be able to tell you what they want. So concerning your question, I think the best thing for you, there is the Canadian embassy there in Italy. If you contact them, it's always better to have that work permit from them before you even take off on your journey. Okay.
Yeah, but some says that before you can get that, you will need to have work already in Canada.
Okay, so if you already, and when you say some, I don't like when people say that somebody said that. Every person's issue is so unique. The situation that you have is not the same thing with the other person's situation. So the best thing to do is to pick up the phone and call them. Okay, don't rely on what somebody else told you. Call them and ask them the question. Okay, that's the best thing to do. And if you need to get a job from Canada, I want you to know something, that the way it works is this. For someone here in Canada, I'm an architect. I have a construction company here. For me to hire, if you are a carpenter, for instance, and you need a job from me, or you're a finisher, or you're a plumber, or you're a painter, and you want me to give you a job here in Canada, I need to be able to prove to the government that there is no other person around here who can do the same job that you're asking me to employ you. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, okay.
You understand? So if there are 5 people, painters, asking me to employ them, why would I employ a painter in Italy? You need to prove to the government that the kind of painting job that I have, that only an Italian painter can do that job. You understand what I'm saying? So these are the areas, that's what will make someone get a job and the other person doesn't get a job. Because maybe you are looking for a job in an area where you have to be looking for a job in an area that the skills are lacking right now in Canada. When you go on that website I'm telling you, you will see the skills that people need more. Okay, now we're gonna get off the phone and then take more calls. Okay, my brother, thank you for calling. Okay,
All right, thank you.
okay, bye bye. Now I have someone calling me in on another line. If you want, you can call on the number that we put out there. I will put the number again that people can call on. Remember to put +1 if you're calling from outside Canada. So the number again is +1 647 889 2837. That's the number to call if you have a question to ask. Okay, and remember, please go and subscribe on our Worship Media YouTube page. That's where we'll follow up with more stories about and more information about what we're doing here. Mr. Godwin, thank you for signing in. Emmanuel, Ola, Line, I have something over my screen, so I'm not seeing everybody, but thank you all for signing in. I'm gonna post, there's a video that I did on let me get that video now, because a lot of people still think that Canada is doing lottery visa. That's one thing I want you to know. Canada does not do lottery visa. There's so many websites out there deceiving people and telling them that Canada is doing lottery visa. Canada is not doing lottery visa. Don't let anybody deceive you, please. I'm going to post that video, and you will see, follow that link. When you come to our channel, please subscribe so you can get more information about stuff like this. I'm going to post a link to the video that we did previously on YouTube, about visa lottery. Now if you click on that YouTube, I say Canada has no visa lottery for everyone. It's 419. Be warned. We put that up a long time ago. So click on that link and subscribe to our YouTube channel, where this is another YouTube channel that we started. The old one that had a lot of people there, it's not there anymore. So this time around, we want all our former subscribers to click and subscribe, and we can keep this discussion going on. Now, one area I really want to talk about is about immigration, and what they have done now is, you guys know that in the past, if you had to do, okay, I have a new caller coming in. Let me just take this caller now. Hello, good afternoon. Hello, good afternoon.
Hello, good afternoon. Is the meeting over?
Oh, no, ma'am. You're actually live now. You're on air. We're discussing the Minister of Immigration and other immigration matters. So tell us your name and tell us where you're calling from.
I do not have a question. My name is Trudy. I'm in Mississauga.
Okay, Trudy. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, this is Trudy, the Secretary General of the Nigerian Canadian Association here in the Greater Toronto area and its environs. These are one of the people that keeps the Nigerian community going. Trudy, thank you for calling in. Do you have anything you want to advise people who have intentions of immigrating to Canada, who are, exploiting that choice? You have any advice? You have anything you want to tell them?
Actually, no. My main concern is really about students and student visas, because Nigerians have to wait an unreasonable length of time to be able to get visas to come and study in Canada. I don't know. I guess that is really not under the portfolio of the Minister of Immigration, but it is a concern.
No. Contrary to what you have just said, it's under his portfolio. And what he has, yes,
awesome.
Yeah, it is under his portfolio. And if you, the things I read before, and we're going to post links where it shows all the things that they have done since they came in. They've reduced the time that it takes for applications to be processed, and it will interest you to know that before now there was only about 2 centers in the whole of Africa that handled immigration cases. Applications from, you can imagine, all the countries in Africa were handled in only 2 centers. And when he became a minister, he asked them simply, why is this so? That's why Nigerians had to travel to Ghana to go and process their papers. The same thing with students. So they are doing something about it. A task force has been set up, and the times for even the visas and all the other kinds of application, the times have been reduced now. So they are doing something about it.
Is there any place where I can get that information with regards to reduced time
for
processing visa application?
Oh yes. I will send. We're going to do a program on our YouTube channel. I sent something out there. I just posted something, a link. Click on that link and subscribe to our channel. We're going to do more about this, and we will be able to. We're going to send links where people can go, because like I said before, this time is not enough to deal with all the cases, but we'll post links there that people can click on and read more about areas where they can get more information.
Thank you, Chidi. And maybe one of these days you'll tell me why I need to subscribe to your channel to be able to get information.
No, no, because
Thank
I
you.
can't give you right now. That's what I'm saying. I can't because there's so many calls that are coming. I'm talking with you too much.
I don't expect an answer to that. One of these days.
Okay, no
Maybe
problem.
even face to face.
No problem, Madam Trudy. Thank you so much for calling in.
Good luck with the program.
Thank you.
Hello to the minister.
Thank you, I will.
Bye.
And we're seeing the minister on the 9th of February, remember?
I remember.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you very much, Trudy. Bye bye.
Okay, bye.
Okay, so that was the Secretary General of the Nigerian Canadian Association, Madam Trudy. She was asking a question about the time it takes to process student visa. It's when they slash the time it takes to process visas, it cuts across everything: work permit, student visa, application to bring in um, parents, the living caregiver, all of those things. They have slashed the time it takes for that to happen. You can always visit the website of the Immigration, Citizenship and Immigration Canada website. You can always go there to get more information about what is going on. And the good place to start is www.gc.ca. That's where you can go and get more information about immigrating to Canada. Now the lines are open. Sorry I missed two calls while I was speaking with the last caller. You may call now if you have intentions of calling. Number again is 647-889-2837. You see, I expect to have a lot of people watch programs like this. I know some people are working, some people do not have access to internet, but we'll continue to do things like this because a lot of people that you see on TV that got killed in Libya, that got sold into slavery, it happened to them because they did not get the right information. They did not get the right information, they did not know what to do, and they even, some of them spent more money than it would have cost them if they got the right information. Some of them paid people upwards of $10,000 to get them across through the Sahara Desert into Italy and then into Europe and possibly to North America. But they ended up in the hands of people who killed them, who cut them up and used their organs for organ business. So when we our hope is that when we talk like this, when we discuss in programs like this, it will open people's eyes as to what they are supposed to do. Now let me tell you something. There are lots of immigration lawyers, immigration professionals who their duty is to handle cases like this. We would also refer you to people like that if you want one-on-one. If you're really serious about traveling to Canada, I would advise that you seek the services of some professionals, but it depends on what you want. If you just want, when you contact us, we'll give you basic information, we'll give you information. We could also point you to offices where you can get your information. But if you want more than that, if you want to process certain things and you need more advice, we can direct you to some professionals who are in our community, who we know them, they are tested, they are trusted, we know where they live, or we know where their offices are. We know they have physical offices, not just an online number that you cannot trace to anything. This is what we're able to do for you. But that's really what we're doing. The program is going to be ending shortly, and we will continue to talk about the program elsewhere. We have Architect Paul, thank you for signing in. Miriam, thank you for signing in. Obina, thank you. Chichi, Ezike, thank you for signing in. On the 9th of February, a lot of supporters of the Honorable Minister will be having a dinner. It's a fundraising dinner to support him. It's gonna be, hold on, I'm gonna open up the page now and let you know about that. I'll give you more information about that dinner. Where is this? I'm trying to scroll to where it is so I can open it and tell you more. Where is this thing? Okay, I see it. I see it. Fundraising dinner. So there's gonna be. I'm gonna post the link where you can go if you are living in Toronto. Um, if you're living in Toronto and you have access, where you can go and be part of this event and support the Honorable Minister. I'm looking for the link now. I'm going to post the link. You can go there and purchase a ticket. The good thing about the ticket is that it is $150, but you get a 75% rebate from the government. Of Four Kings of Horses, Bro Chidi, can I call you on WhatsApp? You can call that number. You can call that number on WhatsApp, 647-889-2837. You can call it on WhatsApp, okay? And I will oblige you. I will pick your call. So go ahead and call the number on WhatsApp. I'm gonna post this event. So if you are in Toronto especially, or if you are anywhere in Canada that you're able to attend this event, please go ahead. I'm posting the link right now. A lot of Africans are going to be there, but a lot of other people who are not Africans, because this is somebody who really relates with every society in Canada. A lot of them are coming to support him at this event. I just posted the link. Please click on that link, and if you're able, get the ticket and be part of the support for the Honorable Minister. People keep asking me, why are you advertising people traveling abroad? Why do you keep talking about it? But I have a video. Let me check out that video. I have a video where I was saying why you should travel abroad. People keep saying, Chidi, that's not what you should be doing. You should be telling people not to leave their shores. You should be telling people to stay back. But I'm not like that. Let me look for the video. Yeah, I said you should travel abroad. I believe if you're able to travel abroad, if you have the means, you should do so. Honestly, you should do so. There's nothing wrong in you, exploiting other places. Wherever you're able, wherever life leads you, that's your base. And I also talked about investing in your base sometime. Not everybody will make it in Nigeria. Not everybody will make it abroad. Not everybody will travel abroad. But if you ever get an opportunity, please take that opportunity. Let me post this link. You can go watch this. You can go watch it and see the things I said about some reasons why I think if you get an opportunity, you should travel abroad. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's 12:57. We're going to be rounding up the program very soon. I've just posted a link, our YouTube video, where you can go there, subscribe, and there's more videos about things concerning Canada. You can ask us questions. You can also send me questions on let me put a link where you can send email, admin@worshipmedia.ca. So you can send questions here. Okay, so you can send in your questions at to that email address, and we'll be able to answer as much questions as possible. Okay. The Honorable Minister is the background upon which we started this. We did this program. He's done so marvelously well. We are proud of his achievements. His achievement brings it's a thing of pride for the African community, and we in the Nigerian community here in the diaspora. So we're proud of what he has done. Let me tell you one last thing that the minister did that is worthy of commendation. The minister eliminated conditional permanent residence for spouses. You see, this measure protects vulnerable sponsored spouses or partners, often women, who may stay in abusive relationship because they are afraid of losing their permanent resident status of Canada. So you know, in the past, spouses used to use this permanent residence thing to enslave the people they are living with and make them look like, if you do anything, I will make you lose your permanent residence. Okay, I'm going to get back to this. Let me pick a call. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Botini.
Yes, how are you?
Hello, Botini.
Yes, I can.
From this side.
Huh?
I'm fine, sir. This is Kingsley.
Okay. Okay, yes, I saw you asking if you could call me on WhatsApp. Yes, go ahead. What's your question?
Okay. I saw your, I'm very interested in this issue about the topic that we don't really agree with now. And I want to know more. And know if I can come through your side. I don't know.
Okay, you want to know more about coming to Canada?
Yes, I coming to Canada side. Everything about it. The easiest way, because the very easiest way. You have been there, and I know you can.
Okay. Okay, let me just go ahead and tell you one misconception that we have. There is no easy way of coming to Canada, and when I say it, I don't want it to be misunderstood, but that's the truth. I will not deceive you. There is no easy way of traveling abroad and for coming to Canada. There is a right way of coming to Canada, and this right way, the people that run the system, they have ways, they have plans, they have strategies, they have time limits for every one you choose. You have to, that's why it is important that you go to their website, www.gc.ca. If you have a pen, write it down, and if you scroll through the comments, you see where I put that website, www.gc.ca. When you go there, you can click on the one that says immigration, and then you can read up more. There are so many ways of coming into Canada. There is no easy way, but you have to choose the one that is the one that concerns you, the one that relates to your situation. You have to know which situation. Do you have a skill? If you have a skill that is needed in Canada, then you have to come in through their skills program. Are you a student and you know that you can further your education, then you come through the education program. If you want to come into the education program, but you have to check how old you are. So when you hear that somebody use this method, you don't just go and say, that's how I want to come in. You have to check and make sure, because each person's case is different. That's why we enter into trouble. You see that, oh, this person, they just took him, he got a work permit and he went there and started working. If in Canada, they require people who have, sometimes they require people who are welders. They require people who are, you see somebody who is a welder, he just applies and they take him. You see another person who is a doctor, he applies, they don't take him because they don't need doctors. It's not because that person has money or they don't have money or money in their account. That's not how it works. So you can send me, I put out an email address there, admin@worshipmedia.ca. Send me an email and we can talk further about this, okay? And if the one that I can advise you, I will advise you. There are also lawyers and paralegal, immigration paralegal experts here who are from our community. This is the work they do. We can direct you to some of them and they will help you because they need to listen to you and they will know how to direct you and which path to follow.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you very much. Okay.
I'll message you on.
Yeah, you can message me on WhatsApp. You can send me an email, and we'll continue from there. Click on the YouTube link that I put there, and then you can see some of the videos that we did about immigration. You can learn more. Okay, just go there and subscribe.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Bye bye.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, if you have any questions, you can post a question. You can give us a call. You can send us email, whatever. And I also advise you to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a lot of videos there where you can follow up and keep in touch with us. Olori, Lillian, thanks for the information. You're welcome. You're welcome, my sister. It's so painful when I watch those videos and I see people. Actually, there's a video I watched. Not a video. Yes, a video on a WhatsApp group, and it was four people in Port Harcourt, Nigeria, that killed their mother because someone told them that they've been applying to come to I think it was Europe or North America, and the application was denied several times, and someone told them their mother was the cause, their grandmother, and so they killed the woman so that their application will be granted. Well, I want to let you know that it's not how it works. Okay, you don't have to get fetish about it. If you do what Immigration Canada requires for you to do, you will get your application granted. They will treat your application, especially with the new minister. But it's not by some fetish way that you will get your application attended to. These are some of the things that we want to be sure that we guard against. We want to make sure that people don't fall into these things. And there's stories about where people come and they say they can get you visa. They will work visa for you. I hear it says this person is working a visa. You see, it doesn't follow. They don't just work your visa for you. There are processes, there are procedures that you have to follow, and if you do the right thing, you will get your visa. Now, from if there are no more questions, if there are no more phone calls, we would keep this page open for the next 19 minutes, and by 1:30 we're gonna be shutting it down. But I welcome whatever questions you have. I welcome whatever concerns you have. If you have someone contacting you and telling you they want to do something about visa, they want to get you to Canada, they want to get you even to the United States, you can send me that number. Honestly, there are ways of finding things out. A lot of us don't know how to use the internet. If you know how to use the internet, it's easier for you. Just go on the internet and try to find out whether that number is for real. But if you're not able to do this, please contact us and we'll try to help you figure this out. Okay? All right. I love you guys. I don't want anybody to fall into the wrong hands. I don't want anybody to do you 419. I don't want you to lose your brother or your sister on that treacherous North African route. That's a very deadly route. A lot of people die on that route. We've seen recently in the news how lots of Nigerians, it's so pathetic. I did a video about that route. It was in our old YouTube channel, but I'm going to do another video in this new YouTube channel to follow up on that. It's a pathetic story. We know that a lot of young people are looking for greener pastures. I don't blame them. I don't blame any young person trying to get out of where they are. If things are not working out, I mean, you're a human being. You can exploit. Rather than just sitting down. I mean, if you try and try and try, because I believe you should try first. You try and try and try, but at the end, nothing is working, and you think maybe you should try your luck outside the shores of your country. There's nothing wrong with that. Honestly, there's really nothing wrong with that. And with what they've done in Canada now, with what the immigration minister has done, Canada is a very, very good place for someone to Canada is a very good place for someone to live. And recently there's been so many changes. I don't want to dwell on that because that concerns the people who are already living in Canada more than people who are intending to come to Canada. So I'm not gonna talk on that so much. I'm gonna try to invite someone and see if they can make a contribution on the program. Um, Paul, I'm trying to invite you. See if it's possible that you can come on and make contribution. Who else? Let me see. Let me see who I can invite to talk. I thought there was a message coming in. Okay, no. There was no message. I thought somebody was calling. So if you were calling before and I heard your call because I was talking with someone, you can call now. We have 14 more minutes and the program will be over. So you're welcome to call. Number is 647-889-2837. Okay? 889-2837. That's the number to call. Chichi Ezike. Onikachi Ezuma. Chindi. Idris Buba, you said you wanted to ask about um I sent a message on WhatsApp. Okay, yeah, I saw your message on WhatsApp. I'll deal with it after this. Um, Bazwai. Oh, hold on. I'm trying to invite someone on the program before we get to the end of the program. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay, we're gonna keep the line open. If anybody feels like calling in, the line is open. You can always call in, and we will take your question. Mm. Lajide Steven says, please can I request your WhatsApp number? My WhatsApp number is the same number you see up there, 647-889-2837. Odless evening. Okay, good evening. Good evening to you too. I have some people joining late when we're almost done. Katia Velino is watching. I hope she can come online. Victor is watching. Thank you for watching. Katia Velino! Come on. Why did you go off? Hello, Katia Velino. I think maybe the connection is hey Katia, how are you? You're just enjoying Nigeria. Better come back here so that the cold can touch you small. You should come on camera. I'm trying to add you. I'm trying to bring you on camera. Okay. So what's up, Katia? I need you to talk about this immigration thing. Call on WhatsApp. Call this number 1-647-889-2837. I know. Bad connection. Call us on WhatsApp if you have that connection. Mecca is watching. Emeka, you should come online and let's talk about this. Aqua, thank you for signing in. Ngukosi and the Osazemen Asemota, thank you. Thanks for the thumbs up, Katia Velino. We're still waiting for your call. Adeza wants to be in the video. Yeah, so go ahead. Go ahead, Adeza. Adeza, please send me the request again and I will answer you. I saw your request come up and it went down, so if you want to be on the video, go ahead and send the request. I want to thank everybody who signed into the program. Remember to go to our YouTube channel and subscribe so that we can keep with you answering your questions. Send us email at admin@worshipmedia.ca and we will keep in touch with you. If you have any questions, anything about Canada, remember to send us your questions. This is just a community service that we do under a company, Worship Media. We do it to just give people information out there and try to help people with the right information. You have our email address. You can also send us text by email, by WhatsApp, but most probably will attend to those that come through email because the phones are also used for other things and we cannot jam them with requests from this program. But our email is a very good place for you to get in touch with us. If you are in Canada, if you are around Toronto, if you have access to the venue for the dinner for the Honorable Minister of Immigration, Honorable AHMED Hussein, on the 9th of February, please make sure you attend. The ticket is $150, but you get a $75 rebate, and that makes it just $75. Come, let's support our own. He's African, he's of Somalian descent, and he is for every Canadian. Everybody loves him, so we have to keep supporting him and show him that we appreciate all the changes that he has brought into immigration. So I want to thank you on behalf of all of us in Worship Media. This is Dr. Chidi signing out. Thank you.